What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream today. As you can see, the headline news today is that Arsenal are going to allow Matteo Guendouzi to leave the club this summer. Apparently, they've set an asking price of £25 million. Maybe difficult to get that for him. But anyway, do you think Arsenal are making a mistake letting Guendouzi go, or do you think it's time to cut our losses, let him move on and reinvest that money into someone else? Also, we'll be having a look ahead to the game tomorrow. Early kickoff, 12:30 kickoff tomorrow. Burnley away from home. I'll be live for the watch along from 11:45 a.m. So early start again. Join me for that. Big up everyone in the chat. Thank you very much for tuning in as always. Much appreciated. Appreciate you guys' support. That Jamaican time's got a hold of me, people. Apologies, man. Time to reinvest in someone else. Xhaka can't be better than Guendouzi there. It's crazy, man. What's going on, people? My favourite intro from my favourite Big Curtis. Big punch the likes, people. Yeah, hit the likes and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. Matteo Guendouzi. I think he divides opinion, but I would say that a lot of people wanted Guendouzi to stay at the club. I myself felt like Guendouzi had a future at the football club. I felt like 21 years of age, does have a little bit of arrogance about him, but that's not always a big problem. You know, a lot of players, they thrive on that kind of arrogance. And sideshow Bob Mark too. Yeah, big up everyone as well in the chat. We had a bit of a movie chat yesterday in the watch along because that Liverpool-Chelsea game was pretty boring. I'm going to watch Coming to America 2 tonight, by the way. So let's see what that's all about. It's on Amazon Prime for anyone interested. But no, listen, I felt like Guendouzi had a future at the football club. I felt like the Brighton situation, I think, was blown out of proportion. He did say some things there that weren't great. He was talking about money and blah, blah, blah. That he was on more money than Mopé. Actually came out eventually that Mopé was on more than Guendouzi. So it made him look a little bit stupid. But I actually like the fact that Guendouzi got in someone's face and tried to protect his goalkeeper, you know, his teammate. But listen, I do believe now, from what I've read and from what I've heard about Guendouzi, I think that he will be sold. And I think it's disappointing because I do think this guy has got talent. Watch along for the movie. Oh, my days. And Alvin's in Asda. I know that pain, bro. I know that pain. But yeah, I think Guendouzi has not developed in terms of his maturity. As I said, and I agree with you here, that the Brighton situation didn't bother me. In fact, I saw the positive in it. All right, what you said was a little bit wrong. I'm on more money than you, blah, blah, blah. But I love the fact he got in his face and tried to defend Leonard. But I thought he would go to Germany and really grow up and develop. And it doesn't look like that's happened. In fact, he's started to receive criticism in Germany from the coach. So let's just have a look at the situation with Matteo Guendouzi. You guys let me know in the comments what you kind of think about the Guendouzi situation. So here we are with Guendouzi. Matteo Guendouzi is not expected to play for Arsenal again. Arsenal are confident they will find a buyer at close to their £25 million asking price. So the club want £25 million for Guendouzi. Now, Guendouzi has a year left on his contract this summer. He's not having a fantastic season. He started the season well at Berlin. It's kind of gone downhill for him. And since the season started, he's come in for criticism from the coach. Arsenal want 25 million. I'll be surprised if Arsenal got 25 million for him. I got to be honest. If he played for Liverpool or someone, they'd probably get it because they're just incredible at selling players. But Arsenal are not notorious for getting great prices for players. If we got 25 million, I would say brilliant. I think we paid about 7 or 8 million for Guendouzi. I think the price will be closer to the 15 to 20 million pound mark, in my opinion. He is a full French international. He does have one cap for France, which always boosts your CV. You know, if you've got that kind of thing on your CV to say you're a full international for the world champions. Big up Curtis. Guendouzi hasn't been anything special in Germany. I've been watching him. He has to go, apparently too disruptive. I mean, the club went warm weather training in Dubai last year, in the middle of last season. And apparently he had a bust up there with Mikel Arteta. Apparently he was acting a little bit crazy, took his shirt off apparently in a nightclub or something and was swinging it round. It's young boy antics, man, I get it. But at some stage you've got to show that maturity that, listen, I know this is the time for me to grow up now and take this opportunity. And I just don't think Guendouzi has done that. If you were talking straight football ability, I would want Guendouzi at Arsenal. I would. But at the same time, everybody has to be pulling in the same direction and understand where Mikel Arteta is trying to take this club. Whether we want Arteta there or not, everybody's got to move in the same direction if we've got any chance of success. Arsenal need to hire Michael Edwards from Liverpool to help negotiate deals. I mean, simply put, I think he's the best negotiator in the Premier League. He is unbelievable. This guy sold Ryan Brewster to Sheffield United for 25 million. He hadn't even made his Premier League debut. I think Solanke they got about 18 million for. You know, they got him on a free from Chelsea's youth team pretty much. Jordan Ibe, 15 million. They're unbelievable. You know, when you look at, we're having to pay players to leave the football club on a free transfer. And this guy's selling players they don't even want for decent money. Marino, is that Chelsea? Very good as well. Very good. But that Liverpool guy is unbelievable, the prices he gets for players. Now, just looking at his stats, Matteo Guendouzi. He has played a lot of football at Arsenal for a guy of his age for the short time he wasn't there. I mean, the season under Unai Emery, 33 Premier League games that season and 11 in the Europa League. You know, you're talking about 44 games there. What's interesting, 33 league games, no goals, no assists. Now, I know Matteo Guendouzi is not really... He's a ball carrier. He's not a guy who creates chances, who tackles. He's more box-to-box, but a carrier. 9 yellow cards. And then the season after, which was Emery and Arteta and Lundberg, 24 games, 1 assist. I think that assist was the Tottenham one to Aubameyang. 6 yellow cards. And 1 goal in the Europa League with 1 yellow card and another yellow card the season after. So, you know, he's made over 50 appearances at Arsenal at quite a young age. You look at her for Berlin this season, 18 games, 2 goals, 3 yellow cards. Been an up and down season for him. You know, he's 21 years of age, turns 22 in April. He's a French international. He's an under-21 international. It's a shame. It's a shame. I have to admit, it's a shame. You look at Arsenal over the years, we haven't had a lot of what I call sellable assets. Another thing that Liverpool really cashed in on, Michael Edwards again. Coutinho, 125 million to Barcelona. Luis Suarez, 75 million. Raheem Sterling, 50 million, you know, and they reinvested. They let Coutinho go and got Alisson and Van Dijk. Look at the way we got bumped with Alexis Sanchez and having to pay Ozil to leave. And all these players, Ramsey and all these players we should have sold for decent dough. We didn't, because we didn't have someone handling business. Now, listen, I don't think Guendouzi is a world beater. What I do think is he's a prospect. He's a 21-year-old French international. And I think this season he would have got game time, because we've seen at times that El Neni, that Xhaka, that Joe Willock, they just haven't been up to it. Xhaka has improved recently, but you know he's still very inconsistent. You look at El Neni, you know, he's not good enough. He's never going to be anything more than a squad player. And they're not particularly sellable assets. But I just don't think Guendouzi helps himself. Now, these were the best deals. To get £80 million through Iwobi and Ox, that's what I'm talking about. But we should have got 40 for Aaron Ramsey. We should have got 70 or 80 for Alexis Sanchez. You know, there are others. Danny Welbeck, Jack Wilshere. We should have at least got 15 million each for them too. So, yeah, in my opinion, Guendouzi hasn't helped himself. And I think his time is up. Maybe Emery will come back in for him. This, I think, was the final straw for Guendouzi, right? And I'm not gonna I'm not going to go through the whole report. This is what the manager of Hertha Berlin said. Matteo Guendouzi's development, it's like he's in puberty. I mean, it's not a great thing that you want a manager to say about you. You know, it shows a lot of immaturity in the guy's game. And, you know, probably a big part of the reason why Matteo Guendouzi hasn't really come on. He said, look, he said here, he's a young player. It's like he's in puberty sometimes. Rebellious. You have to know where the limit is. He has to learn like a beast. Guendouzi was guilty of giving possession away on the edge of his own box in the build-up to a goal in last weekend's defeat to RB Leipzig. You can't afford to do that in a situation like that. Matteo underestimated it. He often does. Now, I have to admit, that is one thing that people used to always moan about with Guendouzi at Arsenal. He gets caught on the ball. He'll go on a dribble, and he's actually quite a good dribbler, and then he'll get tackled, and he'll fling himself to the ground. Oh, ref, it's a foul, it's a foul. But there was times it wasn't a foul. And he actually, I remember a mistake he made against Bournemouth at home one time, and everyone was going crazy. What is going on? And I think that's his problem. The lack of development, the lack of maturity. And I think he's probably cost himself a future at Arsenal. I really do. I think he had an opportunity to actually make a career for himself at Arsenal. And listen, I think he'll regret it in the future. I do think he'll regret it. There'll be a time he'll look back and think, you know, this was a huge opportunity for me in the Premier League. He won't. I'm pretty sure he won't go to a club as big as Arsenal. But there you go, Matteo Guendouzi. Let me know in the comments, what would you do? Would you keep Guendouzi? Or do you think it's just time to let him go? How much do you think we'd get for him? I think somewhere around 15 to 20 million. I don't see us getting 25 million for him. The Leipzig mistake was horrific. I watched the highlights. Got caught in his own penalty area on the ball and cost his team a goal. And his manager, as you could tell, was pretty furious with him. He also had a massive argument at the side of the pitch with one of the players on his own team. Not looking good for him. I think 15 million to 20 million sell-on clause. I think that'll be it. No Discord at the moment. I am in the process. A few of you have been asking. Memberships, merch, Discord. I'm looking at all of that. In this month of March, 1 or 2 of them will be active this month, definitely. So be patient with me, people. Definitely coming, though. He has contracted Jacaritis. That's why he loses it so much. 15 to 18 million. I think we can get 20 for him. Even if we got anywhere between 15 and 20, you put a sell-on clause in there because you just never know. He could go somewhere and blow up and end up getting sold for big money. So you put a 20% sell-on clause in there, take 17, 18 million and keep it moving, man. Put that towards something else. Oh, dear me. Did I say process? I thought that was banned on this channel. Trust the process, people. Trust the process. I will have it all sorted out in March. I don't know if Arteta will sort it all out in March, though. That's the thing. Massive week coming up next week for Arsenal. Of course, we've got Olympiacos next Thursday and Tottenham next Sunday. North London derby. It is a massive week. We're going to have loads of build-up shows. Going to have some guests on next week. And you know, it's going to be a big week. And then obviously the following week, Olympiacos in the return leg and then West Ham that weekend. So 2 great weeks of football. Burnley tomorrow and lots to look forward to, people. So obviously another piece of news that came out yesterday that was very, very disappointing was Odsonne Edouard. I see the Leicester fan here said it in the comments. He was being linked with Arsenal the day before. Now, all of a sudden, this story's broke yesterday that he's on the verge of signing for Leicester. And what I couldn't believe even more about this, £15 million. Leicester close in on £15 million deal for Odsonne Edouard as long-term replacement for Jamie Vardy. I mean, Arsenal, what are you doing? I suppose the problem is that he used to play for Brendan Rodgers. As you can see, he's the manager who actually bought him from PSG. And he went to Celtic and he had a great time under Rodgers. So, he's pulled rank on him and managed to say, listen, come here. Vardy hasn't got long left. We're in the top 4. You've played for me before. And the situation is, Celtic apparently are willing to let him go for so cheap because PSG have a heavy sell-on clause in this deal, which means they won't get a lot of money for him. He only has a year left on his contract. So what I'm told is Celtic are sort of saying you can buy him for 15 million, but there'll be a heavy sell-on clause for Celtic if he goes again, apparently up to 40%. So they'll eventually probably make their money in the future if, Leicester were to sell him for 50, 60 million. They would then get 40% of that deal. But no, very disappointing for me because to me, this is one of the potential Lacazette replacements this summer for £15 million. I mean, that is an absolute bargain for a 22-year-old striker with a good goal record, with a lot of attributes that I think will work in the Prem. I hope somehow Arsenal can scupper this deal, but having read the report, it sounds like Leicester are quite far down the line in negotiations. So that is very disappointing. Maybe just got a great relationship with Brendan Rodgers. How much do we actually want to sign him? That is the question. I know we're being linked with him. I said, watch, we will sign Vardy. Yeah, after Vardy rejected us, 5 years ago, we go back and get Vardy. What a bargain, great deal. I mean, that's an unbelievable deal. For £15 million, you can't lose. You actually can't lose, even if he doesn't do great. I'm sure you could get your money back quite easily. So, no, I personally, I'm disappointed with that one. But listen, I'm hoping Arsenal have got other targets lined up elsewhere, and we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. We don't need Edouard. Give Martinelli game time. Do you guys see Martinelli becoming a striker? Ivan Toney is the main target. I mean, Ivan Toney's in the Championship, and they're talking about 30 million. So which one is the better deal? Brendan Rodgers, Paul H7 saying, Curtis, it's fake. Let's hope so. Because I would like to be interested for just 15 million. The Arsenal North Stand, hit the likes, people, make you feel a part of the channel and share the video. Thank you very much. Hugh said, big up, Curtis. What do you think of Andre Silva as Lacazette replacement? To me, he looks very good, would give us aerial threat. I'm not the biggest fan of Andre Silva, I've seen him a few times. I don't think he would be cheap. The aerial threat is important. We do need someone who can score headers. I'm just not totally convinced with Andre Silva, to be honest. I will look at, maybe I'll do a show looking at potential striker replacements for Lacazette. Obviously, you got the likes of Depay and Danny Ings. There are other options out there. And someone said the boy, is it Isaac, who plays for Real Sociedad, who play against Man United. Big up, I am King with a super chat. Thank you very much, bro, as always. Guendouzi, Saliba, Balogun are quality players, but somehow not good enough for Arteta. But Xhaka is good enough and can be forgiven. I mean, you look at Gabriel, Guendouzi, Saliba, Balogun, Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Tierney. Great core there of young players that you could let grow together. Guendouzi's probably going, as we're reading. Saliba, we don't know what's going to happen. He comes back from that loan. Will he actually give him a chance, or will he sell him? Yeah, hopefully he does. And Balogun, could be on his way out as well. So, it's going to be interesting. And this is another situation. See, Arsenal may get to a situation in the summer where they look at it and they go, right, let's look at potential replacements for Lacazette. And they may look around and they go, okay, Danny Ings is going to cost money. He's late in his 20s. That doesn't add up. Depay is more of an attacking midfielder / striker than an out-and-out, goal-scoring number 9, as you say. You've then got Jovic, who's on loan in Germany, but what happens with him? And he kind of flopped at Real Madrid, so would you want him? Although he is apparently doing well, as someone's saying, he's doing really well for Frankfurt, Mustafa says. What I'm thinking is they may get to a situation where they go, do you know what? It's easier to just give Lacazette a new deal. Now, whether that's right or not, I'm just thinking there are so many things that Arsenal need to do this summer that the club may look at and go, we've got too much work to do. Just give Lacazette a short-term extension to the deal, because there are a lot of players out there. Immobile from Lazio, I mean, I think he would be expensive, very expensive. And as Omar's saying with Ivan Toney, the reports are that he's going to cost £30 million. Now, you're talking about a guy from the Championship. They can be hit and miss. On one hand, they can come here and blow up and be great players. On the other hand, they can come and struggle. £30 million for a striker from the Championship who you're not really sure about is a big risk. When you could have got Odsonne Edouard for 15 million, Memphis Depay for a free transfer, or just give Lacazette a new deal, I would say don't be surprised, people, if Lacazette signs a new contract. I'm not saying that's what I would do. I'm saying you have to have a reasonable solution. You can't just let Lacazette go and then go and freestyle in the market and see what you can get. You've got to have a suitable replacement lined up. So it's interesting. Edouard, 15 million, as I said, bargain. 30 million for Ivan Toney for me. As good as he's been, I don't think £30 million is worth it for a guy from Brentford in the Championship. I don't think it's worth 30 million. There are no guarantees that he's going to come in and do the business. I do like him. I would take a chance on him, but I'd want a better price. Do you think the Scottish League is better than the Championship? No, I don't actually. But what I will say, he's performed in Europe for Celtic. Obviously, Championship clubs don't get that opportunity. He's played for the French under-21s and bang goals in as well. So I've seen him do it in what I would call more pressure situations, Celtic Rangers or Celtic in Europe. So in that sense, I would rather go for Edouard than Ivan Toney, especially they're saying Ivan Toney 30 million, Odsonne Edouard 15. So listen, he said Leicester have a greater pool than Arsenal. I don't believe that. I genuinely don't believe it. I don't think, and I know you might think I'm biased saying this, I don't think Arsenal have fully come in to sign him, because I think if Arsenal came in for him, he would reject Leicester. And I know you might think you're being biased. He's played for Brendan Rodgers, so of course he could try and convince him. I just think a lot of French players love Arsenal. He's French. You know, he plays for the French under-21s with Guendouzi. Although Guendouzi might be saying to him, you don't want to go to Arsenal. Look at the way Arteta's treated him. But I just think we can pay bigger wages. We're a bigger club. The stadium, the history. I just think he would come to Arsenal, man. Thierry Henry's been talking about him. I'm sure Henry could give him a little text message, give him a nudge to go to Arsenal. So listen, I just don't think Arsenal have fully tried to buy him yet. Maybe Leicester are a lot further down the line in terms of negotiations. So that's why maybe they're getting him. Martinelli is the number 9 in the making. I think he can become a striker eventually. The problem is, does Mikel Arteta see that? Does he think he can be the number 9? Edouard is a fantastic opportunity for Arsenal, and I wouldn't waste it. Aston Villa paid 30 million for Watkins, and Toney is better than Watkins. And I've heard a lot of people say that, I've heard a lot of people say, he's got more to his game. But again, it's a risk. Can we afford to take a risk? We paid 50 for Lacazette. Although I really like Lacazette as a player, it hasn't worked out in terms of the goal contribution, So we need to get this one right. Edouard would definitely come to Arsenal, young French striker, all day long for me. I'm sorry, there's no way he's coming to Arsenal, seeing that Thierry Henry statue and Arsene Wenger pictures and all the French Donnies that have played for Arsenal. There's no way he's going to Leicester over Arsenal. In my opinion, that's my opinion. If we're a big club, we should look at Lautaro Martinez, Stan Kroenke. I mean, the problem is, I think Inter Milan asked Barcelona for 90 million euros last summer. Arsenal aren't about to drop that. He's a player I rate very highly. I think Barcelona will eventually go and get him. Look at Tony's stats. I saw them. I did see them. Brilliant stats, man. I mean, listen, I'll show you guys his stats quickly, just so for those of you who don't really know how he's been doing. He's mashing up the Championship this year. It really is. And so here we go. Ivan Toney, he played for Newcastle previously, but didn't really get a chance there. I mean, his record's phenomenal this season. 33 games, 25 goals and 9 assists. 34 goal contribution in 33 games. He was at Peterborough previously, 2 seasons there, 16 goals in 44, then 24 in 32. You can see he's getting progressively better. He's 24 years of age. He turns 25 on March the 16th. So next week after, something like that, he will turn 25. He's still got room to develop. He's got a fantastic all-round game. I just think Arsenal need to, if they don't get promoted, Brentford, you need to negotiate that price down a little bit. But the thing is, they're going to use Ollie Watkins now as the benchmark. Well, Villa paid 30 million for him. This guy's got better stats than him. So we want at least that, or maybe even more. That's the problem. Once one deal goes crazy, it blows the rest of the deals out of the market. It's like, Pogba was the world record transfer at 90 million. So no one ever went close to that amount. And then all of a sudden, Neymar goes for 200 million. And next minute, you got Coutinho going for 130 million and Mbappe going for 130 million and Dembele 110 million. So this Ollie Watkins deal really damaged the situation between Premier League and Championship clubs. Ivan Toney might have cost 15 million 2 years ago. He's now going to cost 30 million. As I say, I've watched him a few times. He's been fantastic. And in a market where there aren't many top strikers, it's somebody that I think we should be looking at. But I just don't think 30 million is ideal. I mean, when you look at Odsonne Edouard, the other player, I mean, he hasn't got those numbers. I mean, last year he got 22 goals in 27 games. This year, 16 in 24. He's 23. He just turned 23, so he's nearly 2 years younger than Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney, of course, turns 25 in just over a week. 3 goals in 6 Europa League games, 4 in 8 last season. Obviously, a French under-21 international, 11 goals in 8 games for the French under-21s. I mean, those two are definitely 2 options that we should be looking at. I am going to do a program. Probably next week, I'll do a show and we're going to look at replacements. We're going to look at what we need, who we should sell, and kind of who we should replace them with. So look out for that next week. But those 2 for me are 2 front runners that we should be looking at, in my opinion. Ivan Toney and Odsonne Edouard. Let me know what you think, people. Trigger Haaland's release clause. I mean, listen, let's be 100% honest. Yeah, we might be able to afford the release clause, but he ain't choosing Arsenal, in my opinion. I believe Chelsea, I think his dad, Alfinger Haaland, wants him to go to Manchester City. Obviously, there's a situation there. If Aguero goes, he's out of contract in the summer. They're going to need a striker. He's going to end up at Man City or somewhere like that. Big up Fran, Forever Football with Franny Green. He'll know him well. Yeah, former Peterborough United footballer, so he will know. Just think Toney will be crazy money, as Curtis saying. So listen, he knows as well, as good as anybody, that the money's going to be crazy for him. And that's the problem. And there's no guarantees, but somebody will take a chance on him. It's just sometimes those chances, you pay 30 million in a year, you could be saying, it's a bargain. He's worth 60, but he could also come in and you could say he's not ready for the Premier League. And that is the risk. But I tell you something, somebody is going to take that risk on him. Patson Dakar, a lot of people mention this guy, Salzburg striker. He can play across the front 3 and he's 23. Yeah, he looks lively when I've seen him. Again, he will get a move. A number of players have been signed from Salzburg. They usually end up at Red Bull Leipzig after. So it's interesting. We've got strikers. Balogun and Gabby can grow into the role. Obviously, the problem is at the moment, Gabby plays on the left. In fact, he doesn't actually play. He doesn't get picked. And Balogun, he's 3 months away from that contract being out. So we don't know what's going to happen there. And listen, as much as I rave about Balogun as well, we don't know how good Balogun's going to be. I think he's got all the talent, all the potential. But again, there's no guarantees. And listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal look at that market and think, you know what, it's a risky market. They may just choose to give Lacazette a short-term extension. But for me, I think it's time to look for the replacement, but they have to choose correctly. That's for certain. Dakar is too small. He can't hold the ball up. I mean, listen, Aguero's small. It depends how you use your body, really. Yeah, I'm going to do the lineup for Burnley. I'll do that shortly. I want all you guys to let me know in the comments what lineup you would pick for the Burnley game. So we'll do that shortly. The majority of the young players are being banished by Arteta. I suppose, yeah, Guendouzi, Saliba, Martinelli, they are struggling. Fran was saying about Ivan Toney, Bullies defenders and Prem defenders are soft. His team of the season, Ivan Toney, must be 92 rated. I think he's had a few informs this year on there. Yeah, Watkins obviously has done really well. He's done really well, to be fair, since coming up. They're talking about England call-ups as well. Edouard and Aubameyang link-up would be fire. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all, to be honest. Is Omar's team, Leno, Cedric, Gabriel. So you've got... Right, let's get into that. Everyone in the comments, I want you to let me know your lineup as we're going through this. Obviously, we're going to look at the Burnley game tomorrow. 12:30 kickoff. Now, I want you all to bear in mind, we play Olympiacos on Thursday. We're traveling to Greece on Wednesday. The last thing we can afford is any kind of injury to a main player in our team. But on the flip side, we need to beat Burnley. Burnley are not doing great in the league at the moment. And we've just got to keep in touching distance. You know, can we potentially still hit the top 6 in the Premier League? I don't know. But we have to see what the situation is. So this game still has to be won. So we're going to... I'll share screen here. And I want you to let me know. Oh, this is a team I was doing earlier. This wasn't for this game. We'll go through all of it, and we'll look at the team that you would pick. I mean, would you pick an unchanged lineup? Someone's saying there. Would you go with just simply the same team that played against Leicester? Let me know. So we'll start. I mean, listen, I'm thinking in goal. Is this the opportunity to just chuck Matt Ryan in goal? Because Leno, when are we going to give Matt Ryan a game? We want him to stay at the club as number 2 next season. I don't think Leno is unbelievable in the air at coming to take crosses. And that's one of Burnley's main strengths. Do you just give Leno a day off and say, listen, we'll see you on Thursday. You can play on Thursday. I'm tempted to say give Matt Ryan a game, you know. I am. We've got to convince this guy to stay at the football club. Because I want him to stay as our number 2 next season. And the guy's name's not even showing up. How do you spell this guy's name? Ain't it Matty Ryan? Let's go with Ryan. Maybe it's telling me what you shouldn't pick him. There he is, Matthew Ryan. I'm giving him a game. I think give Leno a rest. Why not? He's playing well. And give this guy a chance. Burnley away, it's a bit of a dirty game anyway. People saying, why would you rest your first choice goalkeeper? No, but listen, I think Matt Ryan's been brought in to play games as well. We've got a lot of football coming up. And I think sometimes, you know, imagine Leno comes out for a cross. Chris Wood elbows him and breaks his ribs. Then you got to go with Matt Ryan for the rest of the season. Leno's just had his birthday. You know, I'm sure he was drunk. Give him honestly, I wouldn't. I'm pretty sure Matt Ryan is taller. Or is he actually? Let's have a look. Is Matt Ryan taller? Or is Leno taller? See, Leno's height. Oh, no, I think Leno is taller. Matt Ryan. Height. Yeah, no, Matt Ryan is smaller than Leno. No, I'm giving Matt Ryan a chance, people. I'm giving him a chance. He needs game time. He did well against Villa. A lot of you are saying play Leno, and I get it. Sometimes goalkeepers, you do have to just leave them in the team and let them keep playing well. And you don't want him to like kind of fall out of form. But I'm going to give him a chance. Give me the centre-backs, people. Give me the 2 centre-backs. Who are you playing at centre-back against Burnley? Obviously, bear in mind, Olympiacos and Tottenham the same week. what two would you pick? Obviously, we played Pablo Mari and David Luiz in the week against Leicester. And I think in the Europa League... Okay, so what we'll do, I think we'll leave Cedric in the team. Do you know what my worry is here? I tell you my two worries about picking this team. I'd say I've got three worries, in fact. Kieran Tierney, Thomas Partey, and Aubameyang. They're the three that worry me for this game, because I think that those three have to be fit for Olympiacos. So I'm almost tempted to not play any of them. But at the same time, we've got to win the game. Big up the real Giannis with a super chat. He said, big up my man Curtis. It's been a minute, man. I'm not sure you remember me. You're a good lad. Always enjoy your shows. Bro, I remember you, man. You used to comment all the time. I thought you'd unsubscribed or so. Appreciate the super chat, bro. A lot of you, Skillum says David Luiz and Gabriel. Mari and Luiz, just stick with it, says Nathan. Ben says Gabriel and Luiz. Peter says Mari and Luiz. Everyone's sort of saying Mari and Luiz. I want to see. Who do I want to see in this game? I would like to see... I think I want Gabriel to play. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Gabriel because he needs game time. And I don't think that he will play against Olympiacos. I'm going to go Gabriel and Pablo Mari. I'm going to give these two an opportunity to play together. I haven't seen these two play together yet. And I would like to see what they're like as a partnership. Gabriel's got the aggression, which I think you need against Burnley. And Pablo Mari's got the height, which I think we'll need when the crossers come in against like Chris Wood and players like that. So I'll go for these two, right? I'll give David Luiz a rest. Bear in mind, David Luiz is 33. I don't think you want David Luiz playing every single game. And I think Luiz will play against Olympiacos and Tottenham, right? And this is a partnership we haven't seen yet. And I do want to see it. Rob Holding, we've seen enough of him this season, in my opinion. I don't mind him starting the odd game. Melbourne said, let's try Gabby and Mari. Jamrock Gunner says, I want to see Gabriel and Pablo Mari. Lone Star says, let's all see Gabriel and Mari. Listen, it's a partnership I want to see. Richard McCoy says, Gabriel can't cope with the physical. He gets too tight. And at times he is a little bit rash. I think he can cope. I just think he's a bit overzealous sometimes to win the ball. So I would give David Luiz a rest. Let's go right back, people. Let's go right back. Do we just leave Cedric in there and let him just continue the form? He's playing well. Or do you just chuck Hector Bellerin in and save Cedric? I think I would actually play Cedric because I think that he needs to keep up the good form. I think, but again, and as I said before, my worry is Kieran Tierney. And South London's Finest said it here. Don't want to see Bellerin starting, but I don't want Tierney getting injured. And that is my worry. Don't want. Are you guys willing to risk Tierney and Thomas Partey and Aubameyang against one of the most physical teams in the Premier League? This is my worry. But Hector Bellerin is a guy that I just don't rate at all. But Tierney really, if Tierney gets injured, it's an absolute nightmare. And I mean, you couldn't get many players injured that would be worse than him. He's literally our only left back. It's going to be interesting. I'm just looking what you guys said. So would you rest Kieran Tierney and play Cedric at left back? Last of them said, I'd rather play Gabriel left back. I mean, whether he can play there as well. Skillum said Tierney needs time on the pitch. Alexander said, we bought Tierney for games like this. Yeah. Cedric is better than Bellerin. We can all agree with that, says King Moscow. Cedric, no question, says last of them. Real Giannis, thank you for the super chat again, bro. Said, no way, would never unsub. You're a really good lad. Like I said, bro, your vid never pops up on my feed for some reason. Keep it up, bro. Excellent content. Bro, you know what it is? When you subscribe, click the notification bell, and then you have to click all. If you click all, then it tells you for every video. I think sometimes, even if you click the notification, it doesn't show you all the videos. Right, listen. I'm gonna take the gamble. I'm gonna take the gamble, people. Right, I'm gonna take the gamble. Sometimes you can get injured in training. Let's be honest. I'm gonna go Tierney and Cedric. I'm gonna play them both. It is a risk. It is a risk. I'm just hoping that it's all right. I just don't want Hector Bellerin in the team and playing Cedric out of position. It's risky, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. The midfield again. What do we do here? This is a very physical game. Thomas Partey. I don't know whether I would take this risk. I'm not sure. The problem we've got, if you don't play Thomas Partey, the midfield is dreadful. I'm going to go Granit Xhaka. At the moment, he's almost got to be in the team. At least he's physical. I'm going to play Dani Ceballos. I'm not risking him. I'm wrapping up Thomas Partey and Cotton Wool. I don't want him anywhere near this game. I wouldn't even take him there. I wouldn't even take it. If you've been to Burnley before, it ain't no pretty picture. You know what I mean? I would leave him out of the team. I wouldn't play the Chuckle brothers, so no El Neni. I would leave Thomas Partey out. South London's Finest says Partey Ceballos. I would try it, especially to break the Burnley low block. Brett says Partey needs minutes, give him 60. Jan says Xhaka Ceballos. Sam Nelson said I wouldn't play him. Nabosa said play Partey. Mustafa said Xhaka Ceballos. Eric said cheers, Curtis Guna from Virginia here. Love the content. Thank you very much. Vincent said Partey and Xhaka. And Lee Deaton said I'd play Partey with El Neni. Give Xhaka a rest. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting what people would do. I just feel like Thomas Partey can't get injured. He cannot get injured, in my opinion. Without him, our midfield is shocking. I suppose the problem you've got, he hasn't started a game since coming back from injury. Now, what you can't afford at the same time is to have a Thomas Partey that's not fully fit against Olympiacos. So I'm actually going to change it. I'm going to change it because you reminded me there that he hasn't played a lot of football. So I'm going to give Granit Xhaka the rest because Xhaka's played a heck of a lot of football. And I want to see this Ceballos-Partey partnership. So I'm going to change it. I'm changing with that. I don't want to see these guys get injured, but at the same time, you do need games to be match fit. Thomas Partey was out for 6 weeks, and I don't think he's started a game since coming back from injury. That Olympiacos and Tottenham game, he's going to have to be sharp. So, yeah, we'll go with that. Because I don't want El Neni in there because Burnley will put up a low block and at least Ceballos can open up a defence and Thomas Partey can play the ball as well. So I would give Xhaka the break. People are saying here, Ayula said Xhaka has played 12 90s in a row. After Alistair said after Ceballos messed up, what, bro, we can't hold that against him for the whole season, can we? Granit Xhaka grabbed someone round the neck against Burnley and got sent off, you know. It happens, bro. It happens. Look, Pepe with his red card as well. You gotta move on from it, man. It's done. We won the game. We got away with it. The attacking midfield role. I've really enjoyed Martin Odegaard since he's played for the club. I'm not sure if Smith Rowe is actually available. I haven't heard the news on Smith Rowe yet, whether he's fit. The fact he came off injured makes me think they wouldn't risk him straight back in. If you've had a muscular injury 6 days ago, I don't see him playing. So I think we've got to go with Martin Odegaard here. I like this guy. I just think he's a quality player. This game will be a wake-up call, mate. This is as far away from Real Madrid as you can possibly get. Burnley away, midday kickoff, windy, physical game. This is like a championship game in a sense, but in the Premier League. Good point there. Some people saying Willian at number 10, but I probably would go with Odegaard. I think he looks good. And again, against the low block, he's got the kind of pass that can open them up. Sam Nelson said Odegaard will get flattened, possibly, but he may have the intelligence to get away. Jamrock Gunner TV said Odegaard for an hour, then Willian in the 10. Smarty said Martin has to be in the cam. T. Crawford said, Curtis, you never read my comment. There you go. I've read your comment, bro. Just stick with it. Lone Star said, give Thomas Partey a rest. As I said earlier, bro, I was going to rest him, but then he hasn't started a game since coming back from injury. So he maybe needs the minutes. Kieran Tierney's the one that I'm worrying about a little bit more, having thought about it. So who are you going to play on the wing? Give me a 2 wingers, people. Saka, Pepe, Willian, Martinelli. Who are you giving the game time to? Bear in mind that Saka was rested last week. Willian had a great game. Pepe had a great game. Martinelli hasn't had game time. So who do you go with? Do you rest Saka again? Or of the 2 wingers kind of earn themselves a chance in the team to continue? And I'm kind of tempted to start the same 2, if I'm honest. Let's have a look what you're saying. Manny says Saka and Pepe. Brett says Pepe and Saka. Unks Quam said Willian and Pepe rest Saka. JD Arsenal said Willian and Pepe. Jamrock said get Martinelli on the hour. Ron said give Willian the second half. T Singh said Willian and Martinelli, 2 Brazilians. Rudy said Saka on the right, Pepe on the left with Martinelli up front. And Sammy says Willian and Pepe. I'm going to go with the same 2. I'm going to go with the same 2, you know. When you play that well, 2 players that have struggled with confidence, sometimes you have to leave them alone, you know. Sometimes. I would just say to Saka, you know what? If I need you, I'll give you the last 30 minutes still. But you relax, man, till Greece. Give him a run out just to stretch his legs, Saka. But I would leave them. I would leave them 2 still. Smash the likes, people. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Over 700 of you in here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Yeah, Pepe and Willian, I'll leave them in the team, man. It's great having options, people. Now, this is tough because I would have loved to have played Gabriel Martinelli in this game. I do think he needs game time, but we've waited all season for Willian to perform. He puts in the best performance of his season, of his time at Arsenal. I don't think you drop him. I think you leave him in there. Pepe was brilliant. Man of the match in the last game. He scored. I'll leave him in again. I'll give him the opportunity to earn his place against Olympiacos. I'd say to Saka, last 30 minutes. Martinelli gets the last 30 as well. And up front, it's Lacko. You're going to need that hold-up play. This is Burnley. You're talking about James Tarkowski and Ben Mee, you know, 2 of the most physical centre-backs you're going to play against. He'll hold the ball up. He'll link up play. He'll bring in the wingers and the number 10 into play. And if you haven't won the game or you're not winning after 60 minutes, you got Aubameyang, you got Saka, you got Martinelli, you've got potentially Smith Rowe if he's fit. And that's what we go with. I think that's a strong team, people. I like that team. You know, I'm looking at that team thinking, yeah, man, we can beat that team. I would have considered Aubameyang, but I think we'll play with our back to goal a lot. I don't think they'll leave a lot of space in behind to hit them on the counter-attack. So I think Lacko for the hold-up play. Again, I'd say to Aubameyang, last 30, you and Saka go and stretch your legs. Lacazette will wear their defence down and then, you know, send a fresh Saka and Aubameyang to Greece. Just before we get out of this team, I want to ask one more time. I'm leaning on you guys in the comments here, right? Are you guys comfortable with Tierney playing at left back in this game? Thomas Partey, we've discussed it. Thomas Partey hasn't started a game after being out for 6 weeks. So I think Thomas Partey definitely needs the game time. I would probably take him off after 60, 70 minutes. Are you comfortable with Tierney? Tierney has come back from 2 injuries, but he has played 90 minutes. So are we sticking with it, or are you guys uncomfortable with Tierney playing? If you're comfortable with him playing, then just put yes. If not, then put no. And would you rather see Cedric at left back and get Hecky Becky in at right back? Let me know. South London's Finest says no. Alistair says Tierney all day. Sam says not for me. Tierney is too important. X says we have no other options. Callum Kidd said no. Kieran Tierney plays Cedric and put Chambers at right back. Potentially. Anderson says no. Rudy says no. MB says Tierney all day. Play Kieran Tierney says MO7. I'm gonna leave it, but it's there for discussion. You guys, do you know what it is? I just don't want Hector Bellerin anywhere near the Arsenal team. I just can't stand it when he's in the team. I feel our defence just crumbles when he's in there. And listen, Tierney's built on these games, isn't he? Really, in Scotland, them tough games in the middle of winter. St Johnston away from home, or I'm sure he's used to it. But I have to admit, part of me doesn't want Kieran Tierney playing this game, but it's just a shame we don't have another left back. It's just a shame we didn't grab one in the January transfer window, because ideally for me, if we had another left back, Tierney wouldn't have played this game. But I do want Cedric at right back. That team to me would beat Burnley. I don't think Burnley would cope with that team. I really hope. Listen, I don't think he'll pick this team. I've got to be honest. I've picked Matt Ryan in goal. I don't think Matt Ryan will play. I've picked Gabriel and Pablo Mari. I don't think he'll pick that as a centre-back pairing as well. And Thomas Partey and Ceballos. I'm not sure who'll pick that. Alexander said, I joined kind of late. Can someone tell me why Ryan over Leno? Listen, I'm just saying, bro. Matt Ryan was on the bench at Brighton, not getting game time. Now, we've gone there and said, listen, we want to sign you, right? Clearly, we want him to be back up and to challenge Leno. The guy oddly is getting game time. You're not going to play him in the Europa League because those games are just too important. I just think with Olympiacos, Tottenham, and then Olympiacos and West Ham, Leno, for me, plays all 4 of those games. So why not give Matt Ryan an opportunity? I think he played really well against Villa. And, Leno, he's just had his birthday. Maybe he had a few drinks. Give him a Saturday off, man. You don't need to travel to Burnley, man. Let Matt Ryan have a game. Listen, Leno will play. Let's be honest. Alexander said, I'm on the same page now, Kurtz. Thanks, man. No problem, bro. But listen, there's the team. The one that I think we can all kind of look at is Kieran Tierney. But it is what it is. The guy's from Scotland, man. He grew up on Burnley where, them tough games in tough weathers. I'm sure this is nothing new to him. As someone said there, Dunfermline under 7s. You know what them games are like in Scotland, man? They're tough games. He's built on it, man. But hey, there we go. There's the team. I've gone for a 1-0 win. I think it'll be a scrappy game. They drew with Leicester in the week, Burnley. They're not easy to break down. Their back 4. They put the low block. And listen, they'll be difficult to break down. But I do think we'll beat them. I do think we need to beat them. If we can score early, I think we'll beat them by more than 1-0. Because when Burnley have to attack, that's when you can hammer them. But if we don't score early, it could be a very tight game. Let me know your score predictions, people. Sammy said 3-1 Arsenal. Heinz Duncan said 2-0. Inverness Caledonian Thistle away. Yeah, Cali Thistle away, man. 2-1 to the Gooners, says Dre. Rudy said 3-0. Kieran says 3-0. Skillum said, as long as we don't go 1-0 in the first 10 minutes, yeah, we always go 1-0 down, man. Paige has said, I really want to see Partey and Ceballos link up 100%. Give it a chance, man. Give Xhaka the break. Like someone was saying, he's played 12, 90 minutes in a row. Give him a break. And let's have a look at this. I think Leno is taller. He is taller. So that's where, listen, Leno's going to play. I'm just suggesting Matt Ryan. It might have been a good game for him to play, but I think Leno will play. And he is 6 centimetres taller. Aberdeen away. There you go, man. High up in Scotland. We'll win 3-1, said Jamrock Gunners. Going to be a 0-0 boring away draw. I hope not, bro. 2-0 to Arsenal. 2-0. 1-0. 3-1. Everyone thinks we're going to win by the look of it. Bit worried about set pieces. Of course, we lost at home to Burnley. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang header, own goal. Probably the lowest point of the season. That day, I was absolutely fuming. And but hey, it is what it is. I think we'll get revenge on them tomorrow. Join me at 11:45 a.m. tomorrow, people, for the watch along UK time, 11:45 a.m. It's a 12:30 p.m. kickoff, so I'll be on here 45 minutes before kickoff. We'll have reaction after the game as well. Try and get some people on. Laurie will be on from AFTV probably, and I'll try and get a couple of other people on as well. We'll talk about that. Join me at 11:45. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, people. Bless.